what I'm doing today is I'm gonna have a lesson plan. We're gonna actually focus on improving the movement pattern of the squat. We're gonna assess Anthony at the beginning of the lesson plan, and we're gonna assess him at the end of the lesson. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have Anthony demonstrate his squat for us. What he's gonna do, he's gonna place the bar over his head. He's gonna have a 90-degree angle at his elbows. He's gonna push it straight overhead. All right, and then he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna attempt the squat for us. So as you see, his knees go forward. He has a forward lean. That's definitely typical of hip tightness. More usage of the knee means less usage of the hips and more tightness in that area, and you definitely want more of the hips to be used. He's just going to go ahead and demonstrate 3 more reps for us. As you can also see, that's about as low as he can go. And that's definitely, he's restricted to that height from how elastic his hips are and how flexible his hips are. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get started. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on soft tissue with Anthony. He's going to go ahead and he's going to go on the lacrosse ball over here. And what he's going to do is you have your hip bone popping out on the side right here. You have the muscle around the hip. He's going to focus on putting the lacrosse ball right on that muscle. All right, and he's going to move around and look for any tight areas around that hip. There's three different ways that he's going to attack these knots. All right, one of them is he's going to create movement in any tight areas that he finds. The other one is he's going to move the lacrosse ball around the tight area. And then the third method that he can use is he's going to flex the muscle and then relax it. I'm going to time him with my phone so that he gets exactly 30 seconds on each side. That way we keep it nice and symmetrical between what he does on one side and what he does on the other. So you let me know when to get started with the timer, Anthony, and then we'll get started. Okay. All right. So he's going to use those 3 methods. He's going to look for that tight spot. First, he's obviously going to move the lacrosse ball around. When he finds it, he's going to create movement as he's doing with his hip, and he's basically just moving the muscle fascia and the muscle around the area where he's applying pressure with the lacrosse ball. All right, and right now what he's doing is he's moving around that tight area. He's going to flex right now, and then he's going to let go. All right, and then that's 30 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go right to the other side. You let me know when to get started? Good. All right. So there we go. He's creating the movement. And now he's moving around the area, the tight area that he found around his hips, and he's focusing on the muscles here. This is strictly muscle. You're only applying pressure to the muscles here. He's flexing the muscle, and then he's letting go. Very good. All right, good. So he just did his the muscles around his hips, his glutes, using that method, which he was applying pressure in this position. Now he's gonna hit more of the top area of the glute, laying down on his side. So he's gonna you have your hip bone here, and he's gonna be focusing on that top area, on top, the muscles on top of the hip, and he's just gonna apply it there. All right, and he's gonna look for some tight areas. He's gonna use the same 3 methods to work on any knots that he feels when he's in that area. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do 30 seconds on each side. And you let me know when you're ready to get started. Okay. All right, so timer started. And he's just gonna explore. He's gonna look for any knots. He's gonna look for the tightness. It looks like he already found it. He's creating the movement through that tight area in the muscle. Now he's moving it around in that tight area in the muscle. And now he's gonna flex and then let go. And that's perfect. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do 30 seconds on the other side. Timer started. And he's doing the same exact thing. Everybody has knots in different locations. He's just gonna stay in that generalized area, but he's gonna look for that one specific area in there that he feels is the tightest. So it looks like he's definitely hitting some tight areas there. He's moving the lacrosse ball around. Now he's flexing, and then he's gonna relax the muscle as much as he can. Good job, all right? So next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna go through 2 simple stretches, all right? And basically, now that he kind of beat up his muscles a little bit, he got those knots to hopefully loosen up if he was really going into them. Now he's gonna try and lengthen that muscle through that tight area that he was working on. So first thing he's gonna do is called the Spider-Man stretch. He's gonna go ahead and he's going to have his hand staple his foot down. He's gonna sprawl his leg back and he's gonna bring this knee out. This knee stays on top of the ankle. He's gonna keep his back nice and straight. He's gonna try and keep his pelvis pointed straight ahead. Hands right here, and he's just gonna bring that knee out. And then he's just gonna do small little circles with his knee. He's gonna do, I'm gonna time him, he's actually gonna do 10 breaths. He's just gonna breathe in and out 10 times on one side, and then he's gonna breathe in and out 10 times on the other side, and then we'll go to the next stretch. So there we go right there. As you see, he's nice and flat right here. He's pushing into that ground. Now an important thing is that he pushes into the ground also with his foot and he squeezes this right glute because you want to make sure as you're stretching the muscles around that joint stays in place. So the muscle, when you're contracting the muscles and you're holding yourself in place, you're making sure that joint stays right in place and you're not putting any pressure on the capsule and the ligaments. So he's doing very good right there, breathing in and out. Once he gets to 10 breaths, he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna go do the same exact thing on the other side. And he's keeping everything nice and contracted. Very good, so he's gonna go right to the other side. And there we go. So he's doing those circles with his hips. He's holding everything solid. Make sure you squeeze that core, squeeze the glutes. Anytime you're doing any stretch, you always want to make sure that you're holding your posture through the stretch. And all that means is that you keep a neutral spine and a neutral pelvis through any stretch you do. That makes sure that you're really doing the proper stretch in the hip. Next stretch he's going to do, he's going to go ahead right here and he's going to do a variation of the 90-90. So he's going to go from here and he's going to actually just sprawl back. All right, and same exact thing. He's gonna make sure his pelvis is right here. He's only gonna sprawl back as far as he can while keeping his back nice and flat, making sure that he's pressing into the ground with this knee and squeezing this glute and making sure that this stays pointed straight ahead, his pelvis. So he's gonna go ahead, same exact thing, 10 breaths on each side. Nice, very nice. So he's squeezing that glute, he's pressing into the ground with that knee. Like I was explaining before, making sure the joint is in the ideal position while you're stretching that joint. He's flexing everything to make sure it's right in place. So he's just gonna hold that right there and he's gonna breathe in and out 10 times. Good job, bro, good job. Nice. So he's going to go ahead, he's going to go right to the other side, 10 breaths. Very nice. He's breathing in and out, he's controlling his breaths. At the same time, he's holding that core solid, he's squeezing his glutes, and he's pressing down into the ground with his front knee. And he's squeezing that right glute. Very good. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on getting those muscles to fire. And the main muscles we were working on were the glute, the muscles directly associated with the hip. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the hip lift for him. Now Anthony's a little advanced, so he's going to go ahead and he's going to go to the one leg hip lift. There's 2 regressions before that, but we're going to go right into the one leg hip lift for Anthony. So what he's going to do is he's going to be laying down on his back. He's going to have his palms facing up to the ceiling. He's going to have only his heel on the ground. He's going to keep this knee up nice and high. All right? Palms facing up. He's going to push into the ground with his palms, but he's going to squeeze his abs and then squeeze his glute at the same time, laying down on the ground. He's going to lift up, breathe in and out, and then back down. Lift up, breathe in and out, and then down. He's going to keep that knee up nice and high. And he's going to contract his core and his glute at the same time. We're going to go ahead, we're going to do 5 on one side, 5 on the other side. we go. He's gonna keep that knee right there. And then he's just gonna lift up, breathe in and out. And he's gonna go right back down. And that is perfect. And what's very important with this movement is the synchronization between his core contracting and his glutes contracting. Because if they're not both contracting proportionally at the same time, it either is gonna make his back extend and put pressure on his back, or he's not gonna lift his hips up high enough. So it's very important to contract the both of them. Once he does 5 on one side, he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna go right to the other side. And that's perfect right there. It's very important to breathe at the top of the movement and make sure that you really are able to hold the position once you take that full breath through that tight core. Good job, bro. Good job. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to get him to do a few simple movement patterns just to get his body a little more warmed up, and then we're going to go right into the strength. So what Anthony's going to do, first thing he's going to do, he's going to do a normal straight ahead skip to the white line and then back. So what you do with the straight ahead skip is you're going to have opposite arm and leg come up at the same time. All right, you're going to do a little hop with it. You don't want to do this, so you just want to keep everything straight ahead, and you don't want your hand to go up too high. You want your middle finger to be right at about eye level. So you're just going to go right here like this. He's going to go to the white line and back, and he's also going to make sure his heels do not hit the ground the entire time that he's doing that. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and get started. There you go. And as you see, his heels aren't hitting the ground. He's staying nice and stiff at the ankle joint, and that just means that he's contracting all the muscles around the ankle to hold it nice and solid and make sure that his heel doesn't hit the ground. And he's standing up nice and straight. Next thing Anthony's going to do, he's going to do the high knee run. It's the same exact concept as a high knee skip. Now every step he's bringing his knees up nice and high. Same exact thing, opposite arm, opposite leg, and he does not let his heels hit the ground. So he's going to go ahead and he's going to go right into that. Nice, very nice, very nice. As you see, another important thing, he keeps his back nice and straight while he's doing that. He's not letting this happen, all right? He's holding his core nice and solid, and he's going to do it on the way back. Very good job, very good job. And the last dynamic warm-up that Anthony is going to do, he's going to do the backwards run. So what he's going to do, same exact concept, do not let your heels hit the ground. All right, he's going to try and take nice big scoops with his feet, and he's going to make sure that he does not lean back at all. He's in that running position, and he's just going to scoop up the ground. As soon as he sees this white line, he's going to run forward. He's just going to do that 3 times, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go right into the strength exercises. Very nice. And then he's going to run forward. There we go. As you notice, you don't hear his feet too much. That's because he's really making sure he holds his ankles solid and he does not let his heels hit the ground. It's very important the way you hit the ground whenever you're doing any of these kind of movements. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to do 1 set, 8 reps of double kettlebell rack squat for Anthony. Anthony's very advanced, so we can go ahead and we can put a kettlebell under each shoulder and we can have him hold it rack like that. So we're going to go right over here. And what Anthony's going to do is he's going to go ahead and he's going to grab 2 kettlebells. You're going to be right here on the floor. He's going to make sure his back is nice and straight, drop his butt back. All right, make sure that his knees don't go forward. He's going to lift it up right here like this, and he's going to extend his hips and kind of throw the weight up and make sure his hands and his forearm lands right underneath the kettlebell. So he's going to go right here like this, lift up, and he's just going to hold it right there like that. From there, he's going to perform 8 reps of the squat, and he's going to try and hold his back up nice and straight. Make sure that he doesn't lean forward, make sure that his knees don't go forward, and make sure he does something called creating torque, which is where your feet are pointed straight ahead, but you bring your legs out. So he's going to go down, right back up. Down, right back up. Whenever he's ready. Very nice. Very nice. And he's squeezing his glutes at the top. He's contracting his core at the top. Once he's done with 8, we're going to go ahead and we're going to reassess Anthony one more time. Very good. So basically what we did today was the basic concept of, working on muscle tissue, making sure that his muscles are flexible enough to perform movement correctly, starting with the soft tissue, getting into those knots, beating them up, lengthening the soft tissue once after we've worked on the knots, then activating the muscles around the area that we were working on. He was doing the single leg hip lift and then working on strength. So basically we're breaking up the knots, we're lengthening the muscle around, in the knots, and then we're strengthening in that area so that the body can get more elasticity into that muscle. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to assess Anthony one more time, and he's going to go ahead and he's going to perform 3 squats for us. Same thing, 90-degree angle at the elbows, push it straight overhead. All right, so as you see, he's able to at least go a little lower. He doesn't have as much of a forward lean. All right, and his knees, although they're still going forward, he has more control over it. This is something that takes time to work on. It takes weeks and months to really create this difference in the muscle where it's enough significance where the movement really completely changes. But at least we were able to see a little bit of a difference in Anthony's squat, and we were able to see his starting point on what he needs to do to make sure that he can go ahead and have more hip mobility to have better movement with his squat form. And that's it for today.